Alrighty. Hey, hello, everybody. Welcome to BeepBox Radio episode 138. School's coming up soon. My ear's no longer clogged like it was last time, and you might have noticed things are a little bit rushed. That's because I was a little busy before I started this, and then I realized, oh, it is 3:56, and I need to hurry up and prepare everything. So yeah, everything is now in order, I think. The thumbnail is now the correct one. I have to fix the announcement post in a second. There we go. That's the correct thumbnail. I can delete that message now. So yeah, now that everything's in order, we can get started with the radios. Starting with what's going to be the longest title of any song ever on this stream, like this entire radio. Hold on, I need to actually fix this. So let's see. 3 line breaks for this one. What else is she supposed to do with the guitar in the rain except play a sad song by Stardust834? Let's get rid of this cover. The description states, been working on a lot more lo-fi inspired songs as of recently for some variety. Thought I'd share one of them. Please ignore my inability to play guitar. I tried, with a little cry-esque face. So yeah, this song should... well, it did just say that, they played guitar, like they played a real guitar, so the samples are probably them playing the guitar. Anyways, let's listen to this song and see what's up. Alright, that was that song. Pretty lovely track, if I do say so myself. I am a pretty avid supporter of people using ambience in their songs, and I also liked that guitar a lot. Reminded me of the song Undertale from the soundtrack Undertale, which also uses an acoustic guitar for most of its song, and I like that song. Probably one of my favorites out of that soundtrack. So yeah, good song. The next one is going to be, I have to fix this. There we go. based out by White2570. The description says, yeah, it's just a little thing because I liked the bass part of another song. Well, let's listen to this, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. All right, that was based out. Pretty cool. And the song did say that they liked the bass, and I agree. The song was the bass was pretty cool. Anyways, we'll be looking at song number 3, Third Sanctuary by Neputendo. That was definitely not a coincidence. There's a very good reason why I picked the song to be the third song. Anyways, we shall listen to this song. There's a description, actually. The description states 11-8, 12-8, 23-8, 5-4, simply adapt. Anyways, let's listen to this song. Okay, I should clarify something. You have to remember this is Neputendo that made this song, and Nep makes songs that lag my PC to an extent of which that I do not like. It happens a lot, in fact. Have you ever seen Nep's Black Mighty like song? Nep makes song quotation chopped up. I don't think it's on purpose. I just don't understand how they make songs that like break my computer pretty much. Anyways, the next song is Fallen Angels Trial, which was submitted to the radio before, but doesn't matter. Okay, let me read the description. Okay, the description states Ultra Kill inspired song as on God. Okay, the song was submitted to radio before, but the person, like, one of the samples wasn't loading, and it was used in the song because it was literally the snare sample. So I was like, hey, fix the sample and resubmit, and I can showcase this. And yeah, it's showcased now. We're gonna be listening to it. Okay, stop judging me for saying might I instead of meaty. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that was Fallen Angel's Trial. I can't believe I'm having this conversation weeks in a row. Started out with, oh yeah, not very big fan of people using Midi, M-I-D-I, who cares how you pronounce it. And then the second week was like, how do you pronounce this? And I was like, I don't know. I just, like, I've never heard anybody ever say it out loud, so I just guessed. And then everybody's like, now everybody's getting mad at me for saying the pronunciation wrong, and yet everybody's saying it's a different pronunciation. Like, is it M-I-D-I? Is it MIDI? Is it Midi? How do you pronounce it? That's the thing. Let's look it up actually right now. How does one pronounce MIDI? Okay. Okay. Well, play the video. I'd like to.
Or in French, MIDI.
MIDI. Okay. Cool.
MIDI.
Anyways, we're getting.
Or MIDI.
We're going back to playing these songs, and when the song we're playing next is hold on. The next song is Crystal Cove by HappyLemonLime. I don't know why I was just paused there for a second. The description states, this is an older song that I decided to finish that as it was like 99% done when I last touched it. Most of it was made back in 2024. Yep! Okay, let's listen to this right now. Okay, that was Crystal Cove. I've heard people say it sounds like Stardew Valley in the chat, and also sounds like other stuff. It was pretty good, yeah. Anyways, the next song on our list is Knock You Down by DamageLoL. That would be this one. Okay, let's turn off looping, and yeah. This is another, like, how many songs in here so far have been Deltarune? It's 2 so far. I feel like there's like 3 or so in this stream that's Deltarune themed. I feel like every episode has had like a Deltarune themed song in the episode. Yeah, this is the boss fight against Queen when you're doing the is this the fight when you do the Queen like is like the arcade version, or is it like the actual fight like at the end of the game? Well, let's just listen to this. Yeah. Blootended. Okay, so that was "Knock You Down" by DamageLoL. So yeah, that was really accurate. Though, if I wanted to be evil, I could download this song, download the original, invert one of them to tell if it actually is accurate or not. Because a little trick I can show you, just really quickly. BeepBox has an effect for it, so I'll just use that. So what happens when you take a instrument, let's say a really easy one, let's just do like F and bass there. Yeah, good old sonic bass. So what happens when you play note, right? You can hear it. But if you have the exact same note, play the exact same way, but you invert the wave to be upside down, it actually cancels out. It has to be the same octave too. Hold on. There we go. It actually cancels out the sound. So if you listen, what it sounds like without this, like the second second channel being enabled here would sound like. But with this channel enabled, it sounds like only three notes are playing. So yeah, if two sound waves sound exactly the same and you invert one of them, it just cancels out the sound entirely, so you can't hear it. So in theory, if you take a song and then invert the wave and then play that over itself, it'll then just play nothing if it's the exact same, So I could do that with that cover and the original, but I don't feel like doing all that junk right now, since it's not exactly some. I'd have to open up like Audacity, I'd have to download the song, I'd have to go through all the trouble just to do that, and we don't exactly have the time for all that. So yeah, let's check this next song out, that being Terrific Tune by Arztiser. The description says, took a day on a break off music for a bit, but this is my first piece after break. Also, tell the audience to have a great day. Hey audience, have a great day. Let's listen to the song, shall we? Why did someone ask when's the next radio? We're in the middle of the current radio, and it happens every Saturday at 4 p.m. So, kind of a strange question. Anyways, the next song is this one. I have to fix that. Hold on. Just move this down and get rid of that. There we go. This song is Saturday Suburbs by Jupiter.osc, 183 Tune Crusher, and appltrii. You may remember this song from last week, but apparently this one's different. So I was like, yeah, you can just upload this song and we can listen to it if it's different enough. So yeah, let's listen to it. right, that was Saturday Suburbs. I have noticed a lot of people are talking about chord progressions, and I want to show you guys a little trick. So, when it comes to chord progressions, let me change my layout actually so it's easier to let's use this one because I like this one. And let me zoom in. So, chord progressions tend to I don't know why I'm giving this, but it's not terribly difficult to make a chord progression, especially with the one like that one. It was the rhythm was kind of like that was the rhythm right there. I don't know the tempo though. I'm going to assume it's like somewhere around 195. And then you just stack some notes together. Let's see. Let me see. I don't know why I'm doing this all of a sudden. So I'm not like, the greatest in poor chord progressions or explaining things. In fact, but the thing with chord progressions is that you can do some like relative like complex ones without it being like terribly difficult. Like I just made this. That's not great. Yeah, I kind of rushed, but you get what I mean, right? The chord progression itself isn't very difficult to forward. I didn't say that. But this may look all complex and stuff, but chord progressions can be as simple as just bam, chord progression. That's a chord progression right there. As it goes from one chord to the next. That's what a chord progression is. That's the extent of it. You don't need to do all this crazy stuff like all of this to make a chord progression. Like, for instance, actually, we can look at this song again, because it's not that complex of a chord progression. Let's go to the part. It's just... there's two of them here. I thought it was a whole note. Yeah. Chord progressions. They're not that difficult. You have a submission you want me to remove? I can do that in a minute, in fact. I can do that while we are listening to our next song, which is... why isn't this working? Oh, yeah. I have never played Mario Kart World by DragonCoder047. Most people have it, actually. So, I don't blame you because, I mean, Switch 2 is like $400 and the game is like $80. Anyways, the description says, I was watching a Cadence Hero video analyzing the chord progression in the latest Rainbow Road music in the Mario Kart World, and there was a section where I looked at her transcription and was like, that's a nice chord progression, so I scribbled it down on a sheet of paper and then put it into a BeepBox song. BeepBox along with a basic drum beat. It was actually good, no kidding, so I added a melody to it. The first 16 bars, aside from the intro, are the chord progression. I copied, then I just cut and pasted the different chunks of the melody to form the next 16 bars. Yes, that was, the next, well, this was gonna be, I mixed up! Ah! Okay. This is the next song. We're gonna listen to this next song right now, in fact. All right, that was that song. Ignore me taking a minute. Somebody was pinging me. There we go. Um, okay. Yeah, my character is speaking keyboard. Who the? Okay, I want to confirm. Rain Master in the chat. Your you said that you submitted the wrong song, right? You didn't put your actual user, you didn't put the numbers in your username, so I wasn't entirely sure if that was you or not. That is you. You said you didn't want the song Temple Time to be submitted, right? You submitted the wrong one, right? Okay, you don't have to ping me in Discord, or like not Discord. You don't even have to say it because I was literally in the middle of like removing the song from the list, and yet you keep telling me to do it. Okay, I literally hold on. Right here. Look, you can see I press this button. I gotta hold on. Data, protected sheets and ranges. I'm gonna edit this. Select a range. Where's the? Well, no, I don't want to do the entire queue. I just want to do everything from this to this. There. Okay, that's all protected. Cool. I press the deny button right here, and then I put in the I put here was requested to have removed. Actually, wait, no, this was more. There. Okay, I did that. Okay. I think. Are you happy? It's actually Cabbage Patch. What are you talking about? Anyways, the next song is Ripper by White2570. They were kind of getting annoyed at me how many times I get their name wrong in the thing. So yeah, so far I've only been saying it right. Aha, aha. Anyways, the description states, unlike my song Just Like Us, which may or may not have been heard before, it doesn't matter. I made this song for a Roblox game, but I didn't really know what for, other than it would be battle music for some kind. Either way, I like it, so here it is. Okay, well, let's listen to the All right, that was Ripper. That was actually pretty cool. I think it's funny that everybody here in the chat went dead silent for the entirety of the song. They didn't say a thing. Um, anyways, yeah. What else was I gonna say? I think I should rename the episode from like school's coming up soon to chopped up A4 loses his mind because I keep having arguments with the chat for no reason. Anyways, this next song is Wouldn't You Know It? Just Like Us by White 2570. Ain't that funny? Anyways, the description says, "Song I made for a Roblox game that never was in the end." Yeah. We will be listening to this song. Who's pinging? We will be listening to this song right now. Yeah. Is that another? I don't think this one's Deltarune. But we'll listen. Alrighty, that was Just Like Us by White2570. Pretty good. Um yeah. Well, I will say that we're gonna be listening to the next song, which is uh Dysania, I believe that Dysania, how do you pronounce that? Dysania? I don't know. The description says, okay. The song's by Diamond. I didn't say that. Okay, this is gonna be like random, but like a while ago, I found this song called "Not a Son to Not a wait, hold on, what's it called again? It's like I'll find it in a second. I have it downloaded. I can just like look for it real quick. Um, the song is called um Not a Son to Be Seen, and it's by this person, and that song kind of like got me out of a mood that I was in because of how like good and cheerful it was in a way. So I was like, oh wow, I feel so much more like happier now because I've been listening to this song for 3 months. Yeah, anyways, this song's good. I like that song. And like whenever I see this person's name, it's like, yeah, cool. Uh I don't know what else to say. Yeah, let's listen to the song. OBS decided to disconnect me for a second, and if it stuttered a little bit, that's why. I hate OBS, and when it decides to give me a notification saying, actually, you've been disconnected from the stream because, I don't know, shut up. And it's like, okay, buddy, I want to keep streaming. I don't want you to just suddenly, like, stutter. So, yeah, in playback, if you're watching the stream over after the stream's over, and you're wondering, why did it just suddenly skip ahead by, like, half a bar? That's why. It's because not Discord, I like complaining about Discord a lot, but no, this is an OBS thing. Anyways, this next song is called, I Have Always Wanted to Know by Raiju, and, I think this is the first song so far that is a BeepBox and a BizzBox song, and I just noticed something. Ooh, that could actually wait. Never mind. I should be fine. Actually, never mind. So yeah, let's read the description. It says first uploaded in 2+ years. I see. Oh, hey, you're there. You're in the chat. That's you. Oh my gosh. Hi. Uh, So yeah, this is your song. We'll be listening to it right now. Uh, I think I was listening to this while I was like setting up the stream, and I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. So yeah, let's listen to this. And I'm also going to like show something real quick. You can't see actually in the bottom. We'll wait until it's a little bit over. So yeah, let's listen now. Actually, wait. First things first, I want to ask, which layout should we use for the song? Because we have many we could use. We're not using top. That's the only one we're not using. So yeah, shitbox 4, box beep, music box, vertical, and middle. Which one do you guys think I should go with for this song? Yeah, Abyssbox has had layouts for over a year now. It's been a thing. And okay, we're going music box. I mean, we can run music box. It does this. Oh, wait, I forgot. You have to set it to the beginning if you're... There we go. And then when you can see the play bar stays on the left. That's the big thing with music box. Yeah, let's listen to this song. It's probably gonna have a little bit of reverb from when I paused it. But yeah, let's listen to this right now, in fact. That was really good. Oh my. And you were telling me that you haven't uploaded in 2 years, and yet you made a song that good. Like, come on, you got to be kidding me, right? Like, you can't. There's no way. You're not rusty at all, at all. Like, okay, your song was really good, and the idea that you haven't made a song in 2 years is crazy. The song couldn't have taken 2 years to make. Abyssbox hasn't even been out for 2 years. Yeah. That was that song. And also, you may have noticed that the what's it called, visualizer changed like a little bit. I made it so that it's transparent, so then you can see it. Ultrabox then ported to BeepBox. Maybe, actually, I didn't think about that. Um, Actually, there probably are a few songs that went from Ultrabox to BeepBox later on, but I don't know any specific examples of that except for like songs that I made, because I made a BeepBox. Anyways, we're gonna be listening to the next song, which is song number 14. Um, Blootended by White2570. Yeah, let's listen to this song. Let me fix this. Hold on. Yeah. Anyways, let's listen to this. Alright, that was that song. Yeah. Really quickly, I'm just gonna go over some of the stuff that BeepBox has because you can find out in you can find out in 2 seconds. You see, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, there's this little line that says the patch notes of BeepBox are available here. You can't see it because it's cut off, but if you click that, it takes you to the patch notes, which, fun fact, contains every individual change I've ever made to BeepBox that I can remember. Which includes several presets, more modulation options, where is it? Note range effect, like multiple effects, actually. We can just go straight into here and look. We got 4 new effects that aren't in other mods: ring modulation, phaser, note range, and invert wave. I think Box actually ported ring mod, but it doesn't have everything that this version of ring mod has, which this version of ring mod has a offset that allows you to change the hertz value, while in Box it doesn't have that. Actually, we got that open right here. We can actually look. Ring mod, it doesn't have this offset, which is really cool. And yeah, there's that. There's also phaser, note range, which actually is from ultrabox, but it's from ultrabox 2.3. And that doesn't have what is it called? Ultrabox 2.3 isn't out yet, so you can't use it. But you can use if you go to ultrabox github.io / ultrabox. Wait, no, it's just testing. You can actually find this version, which comes with the effect right here in that range. And then there's also invert wave, which I showed earlier, which just makes the wave upside down. So yeah, there's the effects. There's this like button here that changes it so that if you see how like it removes the like loop bar, that means that if you go to the end of the thing and play, it'll just either, let me change this to like really high, 500 there, it'll loop, or if I set this to not loop, it just stops. So yeah, there's also that, a bunch of other things, 50 themes. Yeah, I think you get the idea. We're gonna go back to actually listening to the songs, which would be this one, which I don't, why is this not in song player? We gotta wait for a minute to get the samples to load. So yeah, well, while it's loading the samples, I shall be changing the title to the right song, which is Battle, a Broadcasting Zone by treethletress. I don't know how to pronounce your name properly. Yeah, samples are loaded. So there's no description. So we are going to be listening to this song right now. Okay. Wait, what? Why did it loop? What? The loop option's off. Wait, what? Hold on. What? What the heck? What? What? How is it doing that? It didn't loop the last time. The loop option is off. What? I've never seen it do that before. Oh my god. What happened? Okay. I guess the song loops somehow, even though it's not supposed to. And I'm not even gonna question it, you know? Anyways. That was a pretty good song, but we're gonna be listening to the next one, which is the last one. Actually, really quickly, just to say, like, samples are absolutely fair game. For instance, have you ever heard of the song? Actually, there's no way you've heard the song because I've only shared it in like unfinished beeps. This song I'm working on. It's a cover of Black Knife. This would not be possible without samples. Listen to this. Yeah, try making that without samples, okay, buddy? Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, another thing you just reminded me of, the song, where is it? This one. That was made by Diamond. In fact, this song doesn't use any samples because it's a gold box song, which doesn't use samples. Aha! And I'm losing my mind because I'm just talking for no reason. We're going to be just listening to the song, which is not in Song Player. Why is it not in Song Player? Wrong button. It's Shift P, not Control S. Anyways, this is the song. I didn't mean to press play. The song is, I gotta get the title. Title is, 5-7 Polyrhythm Madness by DragonCoder047, which is in the chat. We will be listening to the song right after the description we read. It says, I made this just for fun to see how hard I could push the odd type signature thing that I have going. The title says the rest of it. Yeah, let's listen to the song. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on with myself. I am having an ADHD moment, I guess. Hold on, I want to check something. Uh, so, okay. Is this technically even a polyrhythm? Because it's like, okay, uh, polyrhythm, that's a fun little music theory term. That mean effect. Okay, so let's just like steal the instruments from this real quick. Get rid of this. Get rid of the bass. We don't need any of that. Polyrhythm is basically when you have multiple different like drums playing at once. Like pretty standard for drum set. But how it works is pretty much that you take one drum, like let's say the kick for instance, and you have it like loop on a specific rhythm. This would be every other beat. But then you have let's say we want the snare to play every every 3 beats. No, that's not the snare. This is the snare. Every 3 beats it plays the snare. So that would be 1, 2, 3, there. And then on the next bar it would be 1, 2, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, I'm stupid. Yeah. It would actually be here. That would make more sense, so then you can actually see it better. So 1, 2, 2, or I don't know. Probably be easier to showcase with an off numbered amount of beats. So let's say 3 notes, and then, or I don't know. Basically, every single polymeter. I don't know. Somebody was showing me this like song that uses a polyrhythm, and it just kind of sounded weird because it didn't sound like it was right, if that makes sense. But hold on, I'm having trouble like understanding because I'm not actually that good at music theory or like good at comprehending it. So let's say we wanted this, but then we move it over by half a beat, and then we do it. That's it. I don't know. Basically, actually, wait. Oh yeah, the reason why I'm having trouble with this is because it's in the wrong scale. Wrong. What's it called? Uh, beats per bar. Wrong time signature. That's the word. So we have to pretend like this is a. Let's say that's the end row there. Let's have it so it plays like that, and then you just copy it, and then you move, like you have to move it over to make it match the rhythm that was already set, which I think, yeah. So right there is a polyrhythm. This is like on the every fourth note, and this is on every. Yeah, there's a polyrhythm for you. I'm not the best at explaining like anything, mainly because I don't explain. Like when I do explain things, I prefer to explain it like via like written text and not verbal, like just saying things out loud without like writing it down first. And yeah, that's why this kind of feels a little like hard, like me having a little bit of trouble because I actually am having trouble. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much what a polyrhythm is. Is the beats are looping in different time signatures. I might be wrong about that actually. I just don't know. It's like, yeah, syncopated polyrhythm. It just plays the rhythm, and you have to like play a certain amount of bars before it loops again. That's the whole thing with polyrhythms. Uh, I don't typically do polyrhythm. Why did it stop? Great. Whatever. Anyways, that's all that stuff. Wait, hold on. Is this even a polyrhythm then? Okay. No, this is a. Is this? What? Well, let's say we divide. This is 35. Okay, great. let's just say this is 5 for a second, and we're gonna overflow the notes. No, this is technically not a polyrhythm. It's just the same repeating pattern over and over again. Oh, that's a polyrhythm there. Yeah, see how it's... Hold on, I don't know if you can see... You can't see that, but see how it goes? There's 1 through 7 there, and then it loops. That's a polyrhythm right there. But the other one's not. This one, this channel is just the same drum. Which, fun fact, I don't like... I've already talked about this in a previous, episode. I don't like a standard drum set without being edited. You have to at least add some big crush to that. And I don't... Especially this. Oh, my God. Just take, some of this. Hold on. It's gonna take a second. Yeah, I don't like I don't like standard drum set. There are plenty of drum sets out there that do not use standard drum set. Go find them. And in fact, I could show you something right now. If you want a good kick, just take a triangle wave and just have it like slide down really fast, and it sounds like a kick. Wait. I think that's too fast, actually. Hold on. Let's say this. See? Kick. Or if you make it deeper, it actually sounds more like a kick. See? Kick. You can make a kick with a triangle wave. You don't even need standard drum set, and it sounds good. Have you ever seen a, what's it called? BRC6 song? They use, kicks that are made with, triangle waves. Or rounded waves, doesn't really matter. Yeah, anyways, that's enough of me randomly talking about, songs. Close all of this. We're gonna be, just put the cover up, blow up the cat. You see, hey, Goober, you blow up. There we go, okay? What's next? I don't know what to do now. The song's over. Can you make drum sounds I can sample? Nah. I don't feel like doing that right now. You can sample my chair squeaky sound, I guess, to make the second coming of the bed squeak or something. I don't know. What should I do to end the stream? Should I play a song, or should I like throw my Macintosh out the window? Like, what should I do? I actually have no idea. Chair squeak, yeah. When I want it to squeak, it doesn't squeak, but when I don't want it to squeak, it does squeak. That is so funny. Let me say, yeah, I don't know what to do now. I'm just gonna stop the